Shit, good morning, man. Many face, man. We in the building, man. Early in the morning. It's a dreary day out here, man. Really, probably gonna rain most of the day, so, supposed to be ready for it. You know, last week of Ramadan, for the Muslims out there that are fasting and striving, shout out to the Muslims around the world. Shout out to, the Christians around the world, the Jewish people around the world, you know, over here. I respect everybody's beliefs, whether I agree with them or not. So, but we're not gonna get into that right now. What we're gonna get into is this Bam Adebayo 83-point game. Because now I'm seeing, hip hop stars going back and forth over it. It's really nothing to go back and forth on, man. And the only people that seem to be defending it is the people from that area. Because, they fans. And, I get it. You guys are fans and, you want to stand up for, your brethren. I understand that, man. Him scoring 83, I don't have a problem with it. It's, it's a game, things happen. Records are meant to be broken, right? Kobe never really had a record. He just did something that no one else saw in modern time. We didn't see, only the people that were in the arena saw Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points. There's no footage of it, but there's footage of, and highlights of Kobe dropping 81. You know what I'm saying? Like, but, what the hell is going on my phone, man? But, there's a lot of people, got different views on it. And, I'm trying to stay, as neutral as possible on this. I have a conspiracy theory, and I'll get to that in a second, and my conspiracy theory is just out of fun, just the basketball talk. Now, all of this is just basketball talk. Nothing should be personal, right? And I think that a lot of times, I don't know why my phone keeps going dark, man. What the heck, man? I think that what happens is people take personal shots at brothers or sisters, whoever's, don't like a comment, and it's like, damn, why does it have to be so, take a personal shot or whatever, or why can't you just speak on what the person said and not attack the individual? Only way I can see you attacking the individual if the person is attacking another person's, I don't know what's going on with this phone, why the light keeps doing that. But, I don't know why sometimes these things seem like they get personal and we just talking sports, you know what I'm saying? Like, or like I said, only, nobody never really likes to attack the points of views. They want to attack the person. And that's what causes problems. But like on both sides, right? People are saying, well, Bam scored the 83 on one side, right? And they're like, he got, to me, like 83, I'm not going to say 83 is 83, but it's, for him to get the 83, he had to make the shots. He had to make the free throws. And he had to make the free throws, and he had to, he had to put the ball in the hoop. He was, saying, like, he was hot early, and saying, I think he had, 70 with like 9 minutes some change. If I didn't watch the game, I didn't watch it till towards the end, when he was at the free throw line, and he actually he broke the Kobe Bryant scoring record for the modern era. That's the part I saw, But what other people were saying happened was, there was a lot of fouling and intentional fouling and stuff like that. And that's where they said it got unethical, which, is understandable. If it, because it's like you're not really getting it on your own. You're using help to get there. If your team is fouling on purpose, you can get an extra possession, or, the things like that's happening, then yeah, that's unethical, you know. But you still gotta hit the free throws. You still gotta make your shots, whatever. Was he driving to the basket and they was just fouling him? And I don't know. I don't know what that was about. Like, but it seemed like they didn't start doubling him till towards the end of the game. But if you got a majority of people saying, hey, look, man, the way it went down was unethical, I don't think people were trying to shoot personally at Bam. Like, he did what he was supposed to do. Like, now could he have said, you know what, let me sit down? He could have probably did that. If he wanted to go for the record, what was wrong with going for the record? If it was available, like, it was nothing wrong with that, But it's how you do it. And I think that's what got a lot of people angry, like people that are voicing their opinion. But just because somebody's voicing their opinion on it, that doesn't mean to take personal shots at people. Not saying, people are necessarily doing that purposely, but, some people, they'll, oh, well, who are you and to say that, and you ain't never played ball. Like, oh, we watching the game. We all got two eyes, man. We can see the game. We can comment if we want to comment. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because we're not out there on the court, we still fans. We still spend our money on merchandise. We spend our money on ticket sales, cable, so that these brothers can get paid. We can have an opinion, man. Same thing with politics, man. We vote. We can have an opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm supposed to vote and just shut up and sit down? Or I'm supposed to just shut up, sit down and watch a game that I'm paying for to watch? You know what I'm saying? Like, through my phone or through my TV, or if I'm paying tickets. You know what I'm saying? I'm buying your sneakers, I'm buying your jerseys, and I'm supposed to shut up? But I'm supposed to spend your money, though. Like, cut it out, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, people have a right to voice their opinion. Now, if you talking like you're better than that person or what you would have done, that's different, because it's like, all right, you're talking like, it's you know what I'm saying, like you can do better. I can understand, then, you know what I'm saying, more of a person saying, all right, well, you talking shit like you better than me, nigga. Like, nigga, but now it's different. But if I'm just giving my opinion on the game, what I saw, like, and I'm saying, why do people have to be personally attacking you? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it seems like that's what usually happens, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you voice your opinion, you know what I'm saying? Like, and, but like I said, it was you know what I'm saying, it was an amazing thing, you know what I'm saying, and my scored 83 points, and, congratulations to him, man. Like, he still had to hit them shots. But now, my conspiracy theory is, I think that the NBA wanted that, and it's just all for fun, entertainment purposes only. I think that they wanted Kobe out the way. I think personally, I don't think the media is too fond of Kobe Bryant, because they stay trying to rank him very low, with no real explanation. They stay, saying, like, they stay disrespecting his name somehow with these low rankings. And, like I said, they take the king, these guys' king, right? And they just place him over guys like Bird, Magic, all these guys that came before him. He's just placed over everybody. You just that better. You just skip past all these guys The only one that they didn't skip past really was Kareem, and that's just because of money, because of Kareem accolades. Kareem has accolades to say I had the best career ever. You know what I'm saying? His accolades speak for himself. You know what I'm saying? But we watched the game, and we all know who was the best player we ever saw out in that court. You know what I'm saying? Majority of people say Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? But the skill set, he had more. He brought more to the game than Kareem did. You know what I'm saying? Like he brought style to the game. Kareem had some stuff with him too. But he was more of a low post player. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't really bring, what Jordan brought to the game, coming through the whole banging on dudes, you know what I'm saying? The jump shots, all the defining moments. You know what I'm saying? The clutch plays and things like that we seen him do. Kareem was a great player all around. He was a great defender. He was block shots. He can rebound. He can go in post and give buckets. You know what I'm saying? Like he could run the floor. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't much he couldn't do, but Jordan was able to do more. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Kobe gets overlooked. And, us people, his fans, and people that actually watch basketball and his peers that, played against him, most of them, not the ones that waited till he died. And then now you gotta want to say all these things like, oh, well, if I would have had Shaq. But the man didn't have Shaq, and he won 2 championships. So what do you say about that? It's all good if the criticism would be right, if Kobe doesn't win those 2 without Shaq. You know what I'm saying? So the disrespect to Kobe is like this, right? They always say, well, he had Shaq, and then he didn't make the playoffs, and and all of this stuff. But what about once he got to the finals, and once he got one piece, it took him over the top, and he won with virtually the same players that they started him with, minus Caron Butler. Everybody else was still there. And then they added Pau Gasol. Then after they won their first championship, they went and added Ron Artest, or Metta World Peace. So what did, you know what I'm saying? So he won back-to-back championships without Shaq. Went to the finals 3 years in a row without Shaq. And that 81 points was hanging over people's heads, I think. And now it's not. Now that feat is not hanging over nobody's head. So, they you know what I'm saying, that's just my conspiracy theory, whether you agree with it or not, you know what I'm saying? But what that 83 points does is it makes the league look, it validates what people say about scoring in this league, how easy it is to score. So it really can actually boost Kobe's 81 point performance even more. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Because you're looking at like a guy like Bam, who was a good player, great player, but he's not the scorer Kobe was. If he can get 81, it makes the league look like, damn, well, anybody can just go bananas one night and get hot. And they just keep giving him the ball, he gonna break the record. You know what I'm saying? His record gonna get broken. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably what's gonna happen next. Somebody gonna end up scoring 85 or 90. You know what I'm saying? One of these niggas gonna get hot, and they gonna keep giving them the ball. Because now that's gonna be a new blueprint. But the funny shit is when Kobe did it, he's selfish, he's shoots, you know what I'm saying? They just never liked Kobe, to me. You know what I'm saying? It was always an excuse. He pushed Shaq out of LA. It was always blame Kobe. It was just blame Kobe, you know what I'm saying? He's just a selfish player. He doesn't pass the ball. He's a shooting guard, man. He's not supposed to be passing the ball, but he can give you some assists. Then when he was passing the ball, they had an issue with it. It was just they just, to me, they never gave him his full respect. You know what I'm saying? They didn't start respecting him until he won the 2 championships. They didn't want to give him MVP. Kobe should have had at least 3 MVPs, man. And people were shooting, but yeah, he was playing with Shaq. And I'm like, fam, remember, he came on a team 17 years old behind All-Stars, a playoff team already. So, you know what I'm saying, not many people at 17 are going to start. I don't think anybody at 17, 18 years old is going to start over all-stars and young all-stars, like budding superstars, because Eddie Jones was a two-way player who was on his way, had probably he stayed on LA to being almost a household name. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he was having some good seasons. You know, he wasn't the scorer like that, but he was a great two-way player for a couple of years. You know what I mean? But you know, it's you know, like I said, when you look at what they had to do for Shaq and Kobe to prosper, they had to trade those guys, man. If Kobe wasn't all that, they would have traded Kobe and got more pieces around, you know, and put more pieces around Shaq. But they knew Kobe was the ultimate closer. They knew Kobe wanted it bad. They knew, you know what I'm saying? They you know, Jerry West saw what people didn't see in Kobe, and so did Phil Jackson and them, and then they were able to build around him and Shaq, and they won. And then he had a lesser team without Shaq, and still did and beat more 51 teams. He beat more better teams without Shaq than with Shaq. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean. So they can't really deny his greatness. Now, if he would have not won without Shaq, then you can deny his greatness. Then you can, you know, say, all right, well, he wasn't that good without Shaq. He couldn't get back to the finals. He couldn't do it, you know, and then you would have had a right to cook him. But because he won those two, that makes a difference. And I think that, you know, people, they know how much people, you know, that played against him, besides the, you know, very few haters that, you know, got this revisionist history. They know that everybody knows he was a superior player, one of the most superior players they ever seen, and his work ethic, everything about him, you know what I'm saying? They know that, and they always give him his respect. It's the media that don't want to give him his respect, you know what I'm saying? Because when you look at his overall game, he just chuck shots. That's all you want to say. Who was his point guard? Who was his point guard? Like, he had somebody getting him the basketball, you know, would make this game easier for him. Who was his second scorer? Guys that can get their own shots. So when he got the ball often and they want him to take shots, a lot of times if he didn't get the ball and they ain't run a play for him, they might run a play for somebody else, and he might get the ball with 5, 6 on the shot clock, and now he got to create with very little time, and he's forced to take a shot because he had no playmakers on the team. He had no one else on his team that really got their own shot consistently besides Gasol. And Gasol wasn't really you know, your actual prolific scorer like that. He was a more of a unselfish type player. You know what I'm saying? Play within the system. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was, you know what I'm saying? So when you look at why he took those bad shots, who was the point guard he had? That's why he wanted Chris Paul, would have made the game easier for him, and they knew that, and they shut that down. They said that's not going to be fair. Kobe would have probably broke Jordan's record, and then they would have been like, "Oh, nah, we got to talk about him as the GOAT." He would have probably went 7 and he would have probably won 7 championships, at least 6 or 7. You know, so that's what we looking at with what I think they wanted Kobe out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, they know it's hard to deny his great. His fans ain't gonna let him die like that. Like, you're not gonna let his legacy, you know, just tarnish and, you know what I mean, be pushed back. You know what I'm saying? Like, and no one's saying he's the GOAT. We're not going that far, but we're saying, hey, don't disrespect this man having him 10 to 15. Like, you know damn well you can't name 5 basketball players better than Kobe. And we're not talking about just having a career. We're talking about like skill level, all around playing, like will to win, you know what I'm saying, like clutch, you know, all of that stuff, man. Like, you know what I'm saying, like, you're not gonna find 5 players like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's in that conversation with Magic, Bird, and Jordan, and Wilt, and Kareem. He's in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, But that's what I think. But anyway, man, I'm gonna let you guys go, man. I just wanted to give my opinion on a few of those things. My own way of thinking, man. You know what I mean? But I just feel like, sometimes, saying, people, they get a little bit emotional, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, we just talking sports, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that guys were hating on Bam's getting 83. I think, but it was people looking at how he got the 83 and the way it was done. You know what I'm saying? But 83 is 83, and I congratulate the brother, and hope he has a successful rest of the season, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. We can't change the stat sheet. So, anyways, I'm out, man. Manyface Publishing, man. Peace.